All right! Columbina, Zimbai, and Iluga full kits with their weapons and finalized banners are finally out. So let's break everything down, starting with Columbina. She is an off-field Hydro sub-DPS and buffer and a Catalyst user. Her normal attacks are quite interesting. Whenever you have a Verdant Dew stack, her charged attacks are replaced with a special charged attack that consumes no stamina and deals AoE Lunar Bloom damage, which makes her a viable on-field unit for Hyper Bloom teams alongside Nahida and Lauma. You can actually save up to 25% on latest banners through Lootbar. Personally, I lost my 50/50 and I just bought the 6,480 Genesis Crystals pack for $76 instead of $100. That's an instant $24 saved. Not only the discount, but the top-up process couldn't be easier. I entered my UID, selected my server, and within 2 minutes, the crystals arrived in my account. Plus, the double bonus for first-time purchases has been refreshed with the anniversary, so you can take advantage of that too. With over 100,000 satisfied users with 5-star rating, it's really my go-to choice for both personal top-ups. And here's a bonus. New users get an extra 10% discount, while returning users can save up to 5%. You can find the link in the description below or in pinned comments, so don't miss out. Coming to her elemental skill, Tides of the Everdeep, she deals AoE hydro damage and summons a gravitational ripple that follows the active character and continuously deals AoE hydro damage to nearby enemies. When nearby party members trigger a lunar reaction or deal lunar reaction damage, Columbina gains New Moon's Omen for 2 seconds, accumulating 20 gravity every 2 seconds. When gravity reaches its maximum of 60, it grants lunar buffs based on the most accumulated lunar reaction. Lunar Electrocharged deals AoE electro damage treated as Lunar Electrocharged damage. Lunar Bloom fires 5 Moondew marks at nearby enemies treated as Lunar Bloom damage. Lunar Crystallization deals AoE Geo damage, treated as Lunar Crystallization damage. Coming to her Elemental Burst, she creates a field under which all characters gain increased lunar reaction damage. This is really amazing. Now, before I start talking about her passives, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel to get all the latest info at your earliest. Now, coming to her passives, where she becomes even stronger. Her first passive provides crit rate whenever you interact with lunar reactions. This effect stacks 3 times for up to 15% crit rate. Her second passive grants multiple buffs based on different lunar reactions whenever her burst is active. Lunar charge interval is reduced to 2 seconds to 0.5 seconds, grants a special Verdant Dew stack that can stack 3 times, increasing the total from 3 to 6 stacks, and provides a 33% chance for each lunar crystallized shard to trigger another instance of damage. Her final passive is where she becomes even more broken. She can personally trigger all lunar reactions, and additionally buffs their damage based on her max HP, stacking up to 7% at around 35,000 HP, which means she will likely run HP Sand and HP Goblet to reach that threshold. Now let's talk about her build, artifacts, and weapon. Her signature weapon is called Nocturne of the Hidden Veil. It has a low base attack of 542 and an extremely high crit damage stat of 88%. The weapon grants HP percent bonuses, 10% HP when triggering lunar reactions, generates 12 bonus energy particles, provides another 14% HP, and grants up to 60% bonus crit damage specifically for lunar reactions. This weapon is designed to fully meet her HP requirements, boost reaction damage, and solve her high energy needs, which makes sense given her HP scaling and dependency on burst up time. Her stat priority is simple: crit, then HP, then energy recharge. With her weapon and double Hydra teams, she needs around 140% ER. In single Hydra setups without her weapon, this can rise to around 200% ER, forcing ER Sand or ER weapon setups that reduce HP stacking somewhat. Now for her artifact set. Dawn Song of Morningstar. The 2-piece provides 80 elemental mastery. The 4-piece grants 40% lunar reaction damage while off-field. The off-field condition appears designed so that the set does not become best in slot for Flynn's or Nefer, and remains specific to Columbina. In perfect circumstances, you would run HP Sand and HP Goblet with her signature weapon. However, many builds may still require ER Sand or ER Weapons to maintain full burst uptime, similar to Farina. We won't go deep into Zimbai's kit, Iluga's details, or the new Hexariah artifact set here, as we'll be making dedicated breakdown videos for them. Now let's talk about her teams. For Flynn's, his best-in-slot team now appears to be Flynn's Inefa, Columbina, and Jehoda. This team is currently outperforming Varesa Overload teams with around 125,000 DPS. Columbina's lunar interval reduction massively boosts both Inefa and Flynn's damage, especially Inefa's, making this composition extremely strong. Keep in mind, we are only entering early beta and numbers may change. We'll release a full team optimization guide once things stabilize. For Nefer, the Nefer, Lauma, Nahida, and Columbina composition is now the best-in-slot team, reaching near 130,000 DPS, even higher than many Skirk teams and approaching Mavuika dash cancel numbers. Columbina's additional Verdant Dew stacks mean Nefer no longer runs out of Dew uptime, and her Lunar Bloom buffs apply to Columbina, Lauma, and Nefer simultaneously, since all of them can trigger reactions, making the synergy insanely strong. For Zimbai, current teams with Columbina, Shiloni, and Iluga are reaching around 130,000 DPS. Early calculations show Zimbai becoming the second strongest DPS in the game purely off personal damage, with Columbina further amplifying lunar crystallized shard heads. Now, coming to other team options. As said, she can be played alongside Lauma as a reaction driver. If you want to keep her on field, then you have to run her with the Night of Sky set, and the same goes for Hyperbloom teams or Inefa teams. Outside her lunar teams, she doesn't really provide any buffs to old DPS units, unlike Mavuika, who was restricted to Notland characters, but still provided damage bonus buffs for everyone. Columbina is looking to be restricted to lunar reaction teams, but it's not like you cannot play her in other teams. You can slot her as a pure off-field damage dealer in Mavuika or Varesa teams, or even run lineups like Varesa, Inefa, Columbina, and Iansan, which opens your Ascendant Gleam state and lets Columbina act as both buffer and damage dealer. You can also play her with Inefa and Lauma, and then add older DPS units like Arclachino or Nuvelite, where she buffs lunar reaction damage as your team constantly triggers lunar damage with all the Ascendant Gleam buffs. But even though she can trigger all three lunar reactions by herself, outside of Nefer and Flynn's teams, she mostly gets restricted to being an off-field damage dealer who mainly buffs herself and some lunar damage instances that your main DPS can trigger. It's still an indirect buff, but not something that makes her best in slot for those older carries. Now, all of this is amazing, but before we end this video, I want to point out that after looking at latest renders of Nicole, she is confirmed to be a Pyro Vision holder. This is actually making a whole community to go into chaos. Well, I will be making a separate video for Nicole in a few days, compiling all the info we have on her. So stay tuned and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to get latest info as early as possible. Also, do check out Lootbar if you're running low on Primogems. Till then, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!